The hollow gaze, some mirrors don't just show your face, they see your sins, and when they stare, your debts take form. Ryan Holt woke to the hum at 2:33 a.m., a low, eerie vibration slicing through the silence of his desert trailer studio. The studio, a rusted mobile home parked in a barren stretch of the Nevada wasteland, was his creative sanctuary, packed with cameras, monitors, and tattered scripts for his YouTube channel, Reflections of Ruin, where he spun fictional thrillers and probed haunted images for 230,000 subscribers. He flicked on the desk lamp, its light casting harsh shadows across the peeling walls, and saw it. His mirror, a cracked vanity relic propped against a crate, showing a jagged sigil that pulsed like a vein. It wasn't his reflection, hadn't been there when he'd collapsed after editing a video about cursed mirrors. The trailer was locked, the windows taped over, the desert's silence absolute outside. Ryan's heart pounded as he approached, the sigil twisting, whispering a mystery he'd buried. "Ryan, you betrayed her." He laughed, a frail reflex against the fear coiling in his chest. But the sound was swallowed by the mirror's drone. He was a storyteller, his channel built on crafting dread, not succumbing to it. Yet this was too vivid, too personal. His phone buzzed on the workbench, a notification from no sender. Look now. The air grew heavy, thick with a scent like ozone and something acrid like blood. Ryan wasn't reckless. He'd filmed and haunted ghost towns, narrated tales of forbidden reflections for his series Glassed Nightmares. But this was intimate, the mirror too alive, its surface rippling like liquid. The sigil pulsed, the glass, forming a brooch, silver and etched with a thorn pattern shimmering in the reflection. The whisper named it, "You broke her vow." Ryan's stomach churned. The brooch was familiar. His friend Soren Vale had worn one like it, a token from their film school pact to always share their visions. Soren had died 4 years ago in a desert mine collapse Ryan had survived. They'd been filming a high-risk shoot for his channel, Soren warning about the unstable shafts, Ryan pushing for a dramatic scene lit by flares. The mine caved in, and Ryan escaped, telling rescuers he'd tried to save Soren, but he'd fled, too scared to crawl back through the rubble for her. The whisper sharpened, Soren's voice now low and accusing. "You stole my frame." Ryan's laptop flared, playing footage he hadn't shot. The mine, Soren trapped, her brooch glinting, a shadow stirring in the dust. The mirror warped, and the brooch appeared on the workbench, its thorn glowing, warm as a pulse. His phone flickered, showing a live feed of the trailer, filmed from an impossible angle above. His face pale, the mirror glowing like a wound. He looked up, no camera, just the sagging ceiling. The feed shifted, showing Soren behind him, gray and broken, her brooch gleaming. Ryan spun, but the trailer was empty, the whisper in the glass. "Face it." His hands trembled, guilt surging, like a sandstorm. He hadn't just survived, he'd lied, claiming Soren ignored his warnings, hiding his ambition. He'd built Reflections of Ruin on stories that erased her vision, profiting from her death as his subscriber count soared. The mirror's surface rippled, naming his sins. Ryan laughing in the mine, Soren's screams buried by the rocks. He grabbed a wrench and smashed it, the glass shattering, but it reformed, clearer, the brooch glowing brighter, the whisper louder. "You gave her to them." A figure stared from the reflection, its form blurred, its eyes unblinking. The trailer shook, the walls groaning, a door forming where his monitor stand stood, its frame etched with thorns. It wasn't in the trailer's layout, wasn't real. Ryan clutched the brooch, its metal searing his palm, and the door swung open, revealing a staircase descending into darkness. The whisper roared, "Find her." He didn't want to go, every instinct screamed to run. But the brooch pulsed, the mirror's glow searing his mind. He grabbed his flashlight, its beam trembling, and stepped onto the stairs, the door slamming shut. The staircase was stone, its walls carved with thorns, flickering with the brooch's light. The air was cold, smelling of earth and blood, like the mine's depths. The flashlight caught Soren's face in the walls, her eyes accusing, her brooch glowing. Rian's chest ached, tears spilling. He hadn't meant to let Soren die, hadn't meant to lie, but the truth was worse. He'd craved fame, Soren's caution a burden he'd shed. The stairs spiraled deeper, the walls closing in, the air growing heavier. He stumbled, the flashlight skittering across the stone, its beam catching carvings of their film school days. Rian and Soren in the editing suite, framing shots, laughing over cheap coffee, their brooches glinting in sync. The memory stung, a reminder of the pact he'd broken, the trust he'd traded for views. The stairs ended at a chamber vast and shadowed, its ceiling lost in darkness. At its center stood a pedestal, the mirror leaning against it, the brooch gleaming in its glass. Soren's voice echoed, "You traded me." Rian approached, his legs heavy, the whisper pounding in his skull. He reached for the brooch, and the chamber shook, the walls morphing into the mine, its rocks collapsing, dust choking the air. The flashlight died, the brooch's glow the only light. The figure emerged, not Soren but Rian himself, his face pale, his reflection staring with hollow eyes. "You gave me to them," the figure said, its voice his own, layered with something ancient, ravenous. Rian backed away, the brooch burning, naming his sins, abandoning Soren, stealing her shots, running from guilt. A memory surged, the pact, Rian and Soren vowing to share their art, sealed with the brooch. Rian had broken it, whispering to the dark he'd trade anything for a viral hit. The mine closed in, the figure's hands cold, pulling Rian into the glass. The brooch glowed, its thorn rewriting his life, his channel erased, his name forgotten, his trailer gone. He fought, his screams drowned by the whisper, but the glass was endless. He woke in the mine's ruins, dawn breaking over shattered stone. His trailer was gone, his phone blank, the brooch cold on his chest, the thorn etched on his skin. Footprints, small and dusty, led into the fog. Rian followed and found a mirror, shard, half-buried, reflecting his face, glowing with guilt. A whisper followed his own voice. "You're theirs." Soren's voice lingered inside him, a gaze he'd never escape. Morning came, and his studio was empty, his digital footprint wiped. The police found a burn mark in the ruins, shaped like a thorn. Locals whispered of a man in the fog, wearing a brooch, waiting for someone to look. Rian's neighbor heard scraping at night, a mirror humming in an empty trailer. Somewhere, in a place of dust and glass, Rian stands, the brooch on his chest, his reflection staring, whispering his failures. His own figure watches, its smile eternal, its voice a constant hum. The worst part, the thing that keeps him trapped, is the truth he'll never know. The figure wasn't Soren's, it was Rian's, reflected by his debt, a debt he'd never repay. Would you look? Share your fear and tag a friend who'd face the mirror. Follow for more stories that stare,